Here's the made over L99 engine. So it's painted to match the Nova. So it's the same exact color. And so here's the setup. So AC, idler, pulley, but this one's the tensioner, crank, water pump. This one's another idler. Then there's the power steering, which is the original Camaro power steering. And the alternator's up here. And I did set it up for Hydro Boost. So there's the fitting for the Hydro Boost. It's kind of dark, but that's where it is. Valve covers, the intake manifold cover was painted. The intake manifold was not painted. And I left the fuel rails in silver. So there it is right there. Have a look-see. So there's the PSI harness. And I did have to rework it so that I can fit it in there just like stock, so that I can hide the wiring. So it looks pretty clean. Same thing with here. The wiring up here. This one, of course, I left it out because obviously, as you can see, I'm using the stock Camaro intake piping and filter, air filter box. So obviously this would be a little different when I put it in the Nova, but it has the LS3 MAF sensor. So I did put in the transmission because it has to be connected so that the engine can turn on. There's my E38 computer. Here's my check engine light. So I have my fuse box here. It's just laying here. I don't have the oxygen sensors connected. So it's just gonna be running just the way it is. And this is my manifolds, so that's pretty much it. The fuel line is coming from my Edelbrock fuel system. So this will provide the fuel. It'll be filtered, and then you can see it comes there, 58 PSI. So I'm gonna start her up. Now this is not a first startup. I have started up a couple of times, but I just want to get this on film, how it starts up. I've already checked for leaks. Everything's going good. I do have the Torque Pro app, so we'll get to see what the engine is doing. So that you know, this one's oil pressure, oil temperature, the timing, advanced, the RPMs, coolant temperature. This is the MAF sensor. This is the intake air temperature. This is the pedal. So you can see when here's the gas pedal right here. So, well, it's not connected right now, so I'll show you when I connected it. And this is just the ignition voltage. So that's pretty much what I need as the engine is running. But I can view all the parameters and I can put any gauge I want for this app. So I really love this app. And the way it gets connected, it's via Bluetooth, and it uses this dongle. So you can see there, if it focuses, BFX. So it's not really focusing, but BFX. So that's basically connected, and my tablet is connected to it via Bluetooth. So I'm gonna put up some fuel. The battery's there, and we don't really need to see what the battery voltage is, but that's pretty much what it is. And let's give it some fuel. So the fuel is started, and the way I start her up, I basically just crank it with this wire, and this wire here is the ignition. So once I put this here, that pretty much sets up the ignition. So I do have a check engine light on, obviously, because I don't have, well, first of all, no fluid in this, no torque converter, and I don't have the oxygen sensors. So other than that, everything else is just fine. So let's give it a start up. Let's see if I can kind of position you in a way so that you guys can see it. So I don't know, that's the best I can do. So let's get it started up. Beautiful. Now this is with a custom grind camshaft, eliminating the DOD so that all the lobes are the same. So it idles a little bit different than it did when it was stock. But nonetheless, it's a smooth idle. Gas pedal, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a speed up on the revs, and you'll see that the gauge will show that I'm hitting the gas. Instantly. I'm loving it. Between 500 and 550, just like stock. there she is, working beautifully. She's going into the Nova. I can't wait.